Hello everyone and welcome to the Starseed Dragon channel. This is a review of the Cosmic Cat Wisdom Cards, your daily dose of insight and delight by Randy Crutcher and Barb Horn. This was a suggestion by one of our subscribers. Her son was looking at this, so hopefully he will enjoy it. So here we go. Here is the book and the cards. Ooh, beautiful. Let's see. We have 60 beautiful images of cats and kittens, each portraying a personal growth idea such as bliss, courage, nurture, persistence, and more. Here's the back of the cards. They are in a wrapper, so let's take a look at the guidebook. You can pull a card of the day. Working with shadow, that's always good. Working with your shadow self is, when you first start doing it, it's very difficult and hard. And you won't want to do it. Some days, even now, it's hard for me to do my shadow work, but I do it on a daily basis because I'm accustomed to doing it now. And believe me, it does get easier. You know, everything gets easier to handle the longer you stick with it and do it, right? So let's see, when we read the, I'll just read the whole thing. Why not? 60 cards though, so this is going to be a bit of a lengthy review, just so you know. Let's measure these before I take the wrapper off. And it's raining, so Phyllis will be tippy-tapping around. She gets really nervous when there's things falling from the sky. So here we go. Approximately, what is that? Maybe 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters about by just under 4 inches. It's maybe a little over 3.5 inches or maybe 9.5 centimeters approximately. Well, no, I can't measure. I say this on every video. Let's tear into these. Let's see where we can. There we go. Be very careful. There we go. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. Unwrap. They are large cards. It's very nice. And I don't necessarily think that I have large hands, but I do have long fingers, so that's helpful. Let's see. They are shiny. There's no gilding. So, you know, when cards are glossy and shiny, they have a tendency to stick together when they're new. So you have to separate them a little bit. I'm not one for shuffling tarot and oracle decks like a regular deck of playing cards, because they're not regular deck of playing cards and they deserve more onerous than that, right? Okay, so hopefully I got most of this stick out. All right, so here we go. Let me zoom in. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zooming. Okay, so these are adorable pictures already, and I've just got on the first one. Okay. Aloof. Seek non-attachment. If you pounced on this card, it means it's time to purposely stand in your own sense of self and power, undeterred by those who would try to rankle you with cat calls as they act out their own clawing need for attention. You may have encountered or are in situations you find unsavory, distasteful, or simply a waste of your time and energy, and need a break or a complete breakaway. Though it's typically been given a bad rap as a character trait, being aloof in some situations and circumstances is a perfectly adaptable response. The word aloof derives from an old nautical term that means heading into the wind and staying offshore, where shoals and trouble may lie. In this case, being aloof is about disengaging oneself from others' dramas or agendas, where you may have been cast in a supporting role you did not and don't want to accept. It's healthy to avoid catfights and set boundaries, holding your ground and avoiding your own reactivity in the face of taunts or threats. Bullies feel rewarded by a reaction that feeds their egos and keeps them feeling full of themselves. You may have seen this on the streets and alleys of your life, played out over and over again by roustabouts and ringleaders at every level of society, whether formal or feral. Don't play with these cats. You may choose to communicate your reasons for stepping aside or stepping out. It's very much your choice. Other thoughts to stock. What dramas, situations, or people do you need to step back from for your own health and well-being? How would you respectfully excuse yourself from those situations or interactions? When does being aloof not serve you? Good questions to ask yourself. Oh, assertive. Take your place at the table. If you pounced on this card, it means you are ready to activate your ability to receive what you most need in your life now to thrive and expand. That ability, it depends on you learning how to communicate clearly what it is you are asking for in a way that respects you, others, and all of life. The ability comes from your understanding that your needs and the needs of others are interdependent. You may not have been taught this in your pride. In fact, in the struggle to be seen, heard, and get what you want at a young age, you may have observed that others used aggression, manipulation, or withdrawal as a means to getting their needs met. Often, the screeching, yowling, hissing, or dead silence that passes for communication in the world is either passive or aggressive, not assertive. Words are important. Tone of voice is more so. Is your meow loud or soft? How you hold yourself conveys your intent. Is your back up, hair on end? Are your claws out or in? The way you approach any other critter speaks volumes about whether you are angry and threatening or friendly and approachable. What you are now called to do is take your place at the table by first insisting you have one not by taking one else's. Oh, not by taking anyone else's, but speaking from your heart about what you are needing. Being this direct may feel foreign to you as it takes the place of complaining or hoping someone can read your mind. Perhaps you fear asking for something directly will meet with rejection, and it may. Dealing with rejection creatively is a part of being assertive. The important thing is to persist with expressing who you are, what you value and want for yourself. With persistence, the rewards and treats will be forthcoming. Other thoughts to stock. What is something you want or need that you are afraid to ask for? How can you ask for what you need in a way that respects you and others? Who do you need to make a request of? Practice being more direct in a compassionate way with someone you trust by saying, I need fill in the blank. Are you willing to give or provide that? Notice what happens when you are more direct. B, choose non-action. If you pounced on this card, it means you have landed in a place where no further action need be taken, at least not for the moment. You've been doing quite a lot, perhaps some for naught. Whether results have been achieved or not, this is perfect time to stop. Let go and unravel the tightly spun ball of yarn you've become. Animals have so much to teach humans about being. They do it so well, even in the midst of all our human doings. Sometimes you may feel like a mouse caught in a trap that sprung and needs to be released into a zone of ease and reflection. A place where you can just dream again. You may be living in a busy world of your own making, feeling that if you stop, your world will somehow come to an end without you to hold it up. It's time to wrap yourself around a different idea. In fact, your world will go on while you take the time to just relax and be. And when you create that soft place to linger with your feet up, you'll begin to notice that it becomes easier to tap into your own inner guidance and intuition, and your fuzzy mind can begin to empty and eventually clear. Through intentional non-action, you can recharge, renew, and become ready once again to pounce on what's really most important for you in your life now. But don't rush it. In the longer chase, it's possible to learn how to be more fully present in your doing so that it becomes natural and effortless. In that way, you can always be ready to catch yourself when you fall and know you can make a soft landing. Let it be. Other thoughts to stock. Create daily rituals for yourself that allow you to unplug from people and work demands, whether it's a meditation, contemplation, free writing, or just sitting quietly without focus. Even a few minutes can make a difference in getting grounded and centered again. Sign up for a meditation retreat or create your own using practices you've learned that help you empty your mind. Hang a do not disturb sign to ask others to honor your quiet time. Learn to prioritize what is most important to accomplish in one day and let the remainder wait until tomorrow. Take more time out and time off just to be. Oh my goodness. Bliss. Contentment is at hand. If you pounced on this card, it means you are feeling good or want to feel better, more filled up and joyful. Perhaps you've been in a period of discontentment, dissatisfaction, or disillusionment and are ready to move from a state of contradiction back to a state of expansion, but aren't quite sure how. Bliss is a state of mind and being that can be cultivated. Bliss is a state of mind and being of mind. Bliss is a state of mind and being that can be cultivated. Thank you. If never fully captured. It can be the result of intentionally dropping into a quiet and beautiful place that triggers awe as a prequel. The place could be the great outdoors beyond your usual habitat or in your own den or backyard. The outer territory is less important than the inner adventure you can go on with the aid of visualization or a meditative practice. Bliss is unpredictable and can come on with the flick of a tail. When it does, you can better sustain that feeling by letting yourself be totally with it, avoiding thoughts about whether it is real or will last. Those limiting thoughts can curtail bliss in a heartbeat. If catalyzing the conditions for bliss to occur in others is something you're interested in, learn what really makes others' hearts sing and how they experience bliss. Learn what they are passionate about and love to do or be. Find a way to support their purring in a way that is right for you. When you follow these paths towards bliss, you will be rewarded within and without. Other thoughts to stock. Think about people, places, things, and experience that delight you. Spend some time dwelling on these thoughts and write them down. Where do you go or what do you do to find your bliss? Go there and do that. Open to the idea that you can increase the likelihood of bliss through a regular practice of meditation, contemplation, gratitude, and appreciation. Cautious. Beware of dogs. Sorry, Phyllis. It's kind of funny. If you pounced on this card, it means you might need to approach something in your life with focused care and attention. You are being alerted by sights, sounds, and smells that tell you to slow down and proceed with caution. It could be a new relationship, a new project or venture, or any of those now in progress that have your fur up for one reason or another. It may be that real danger lurks or just the unknown. Either way, you don't want to find yourself desperately clawing for safety because you proceeded hastily or did not consider your exit strategy ahead of time. Quick or hurried action is not called for here. As they say, safety first. Your first step is to notice any feelings of unsafety gnawing on you. What does your internal compass say? On the other paw, taking precautions does not mean you have to play dead, give up, or flee. Proceeding with caution should not dissuade you from taking calculated risks, As the saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Give decisions, strategies, and actions time to evolve as you gather input from reliable sources of information and wisdom. Who would be good to curl up with for a consult before you take the leap? Who might join you in your endeavor? Sometimes partnership can help put the brakes on an impulsive move, giving you time to consider all the outcomes. The best path might be to slowly and deliberately put one paw in front of another as you feel out what's behind the door or wall that's between you and the visible results of your actions. Other thoughts to stock. Ask yourself, what are the downsides around making this decision or taking this action? Do the dangers outweigh the benefits of my taking this action? What about this situation is really dangerous, and what am I just making up based only on some past experience? Identify reliable and best sources of information and wise guidance. Aww. Comfort. Take it and give it. If you pounced on this card, you might be in need of some comfort or feel a need to comfort others. Perhaps you are not receiving comfort on a regular basis. It's not just the very young, old, or sick that need tender words or affection. It's a basic human need and one of the languages of love. By our very nature, we need the warmth and connection that comes from respectful physical closeness or an affirmative expression, vocalized or in written form. If you are challenged by visible health issues or temporarily in pain from a fall after skinning up some tree or the like, it may be obvious to others you could use comfort, and they provide it. Less obvious are the upsets you have that you may be holding inside, invisible wounds that need licking. Sometimes we are able to provide our own comfort by listening to music we love, or by watching funny and amusing performances, or reading a favorite book. It's whatever works for you to calm an overactivated nervous system. The norm in this dog-eat-dog, cat-chase-mouse world. Still, some of the most effective comfort is that which we provide for each other. When we do, we shift our life experience and so change the larger world. Being kind and comforting can become your strongest character trait, what you become known for if you readily let yourself both give and receive such treatments with whomever your tracks cross in your daily life. Other thoughts to stock. In what ways and where do you receive comfort? Who would you ask to spend time with that you know can listen and be fully present for you? Who in your world do you see could use comfort? What simple gesture or act could be comforting to those who need it? Take a risk by offering comfort. Stuck together. There we go. Conundrum, up in the air. If you pounced on this card, you may be finding yourself in some precarious position, a tight spot, or between a rock and a hard place, trying to claw your way out. Perhaps something in your life has left you hanging, wondering just how it's all going to land. You're not even sure how you got there, and you may not feel there is a clear direction or choice in the matter when it comes to a relationship, a project, or a whole new approach to solving the perplexing problems that can get your fur up. We're all occasionally faced with these situations, and fear is a natural first reaction as we may feel entrapped and incapable of getting free when we find ourselves up a tree with no apparent way down. It may be we've never faced this situation or problem before. It's a first. A conundrum can be defined in more than one way, and that may be your first clue. The first definition of conundrum is a confusing and difficult problem or question. The second is a question asked for amusement, typically with a pun in its answer, a riddle. If you can look at your situation with some sense of amusement, something like, "Oh my goodness, look at me, how ridiculous is this?" you can begin to diffuse some of the tension or perhaps even terror, so you can begin to catalyze, not analyze, but catalyze the part of your brain that may already hold some answers. If you do look at your situation as a riddle or a puzzle to be solved, a whole new creative space can unfold with a larger catalog of options that you ever suspected, and you may only need to land on one elegant solution to deliver yourself from the dilemma. Other thoughts to stock. Begin examining the situation by looking at it from as many directions or sides as you initially can. Drop out of your head and into your heart to find the solution that best fits with who you are and what your real needs are now. Enlist others less invested in results to help you further explore the dilemma. Courage, reach for the stars. If you pounce on this card, it means you might be called to action beyond your warm and cozy comfort zone. It's time to stretch or reach into a new territory where even the sky is no limit. Contrary to what some may believe, courage is not the absence of fear. In uncharted territory, experiencing some degree of fear is a given. Our animal nature is hardwired to experience fear as real or imagined threats, twitch our whiskers, and raise the fur on our backs. Without this invaluable internal alarm system, we'd be toast. The root meaning of courage is more to do with taking heart or living boldly from the heart. You may have avoided obstacles or challenges to having, doing, and being more in your life to avoid feeling fear. You may fear what you believe will be others' reactions, judgments, and criticisms when you intentionally change something in your life. Though it's become common knowledge that what we resist persists, when it comes to being courageous and stepping through fear, you may be hesitant due to either obsession with history or a non-existent future. When you take action in whatever area of your life where you've previously held back, you have already lessened your fear, no matter the result. Your confidence and courage are multiplied each time you move forward. The great American artist Georgia O'Keeffe once said, "I've been terrified all my life, but I never let it stop me." So get ready to spring by making friends with your fear and thanking it for its intended purpose of helping you build your courage. In that way, you can transform the energy of fear to become fearless in your pursuit of growth and expansion, living the courageous and purposeful life you came here to experience. Other thoughts to stock. Identify something you want but are afraid you can't get or can't obtain. Name a fear that comes up for you and just observe what happens in your body when you feel it. Talk to your fear. Let it know you are aware of it and acknowledge its purpose. Take an action that can change your state of mind and being from merely fearful to courageous. Curiosity, worth the risk. What's that saying? Curiosity killed the cat. Knowing what it was brought it back, right? Let's see here. Okay. If you pounced on this card, it means you are on the verge of a new surge of exploration. One you may have avoided for fear it would not end well. You've been wondering what lay around the next bend, curious about your prospects in life and love, but hesitant to risk any negative consequences due to past experiences or dwelling on worst-case scenarios that can paralyze you. In fact, there probably was a concatenation, a series of events that led to where you are now that all required your curiosity to get you to this point. And now you may be wondering if you are going to sink or swim. You may have heard that life is risk, or nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's time to get in touch with how that may be true for you. Are you terrified by a real or perceived danger and find yourself freezing up? Where there is danger, there can also be opportunity. You can take your time in calculating the risks of following your curiosity, but playing it safe all the time and never sticking your neck out will not lead to catching the bigger fish. You can develop a greater sense of self-confidence, buoyancy, and knowing you have what it takes to stay afloat as you stretch into and allow your natural curiosity to operate. When you do, you will be more free to unzip the secrets of survival and secure the greatest treats in life. Other thoughts to stock. When have you been punished for following your curiosity? When have you been rewarded for questioning and exploring? Make a list of things you are curious about and are willing to take small steps to explore further. Discernment. Take a closer look. If you pounced on this card, it might indicate an important decision is skittering just around the corner and waiting to be made. This is a good time to stop, be still, and look a little harder, longer, or deeper to ensure the decision aligns with your core values, who you really are now and want to become. Things are not always what they initially seem. That's why a closer examination and asking the right questions could be key to your best catch. What underlying motives, stories, beliefs, or assumptions are tested within the decision at hand? Discernment requires observation and the collection of information that leads to a judgment. A reasoned or thoughtful judgment is an opinion, stance, or position you have formulated about someone or something based on your ability to carefully discern. To prejudge is to subvert discernment, allowing unconscious conditioning from your early kitten days to the catechisms of unquestioned training throughout life to guide your decisions. Prejudice can contaminate your decisions when coming from a place of unhealed personal wounding or a lack of information, devoid of critical and strategic thinking. It can lead to snap judgments and striking out at enemies, whether real or perceived. Discernment helps you uncover your authentic needs for nourishment, support, and strokes, and then to act from that place to capture the goods. It gives enough pause to reflect on whether what's before you is merely fulfilling short-term gratification or is the best for all involved. You exercise and build your discernment muscles over time when you look and listen by holding up a lens that looks both outward and inward. Examine both your thoughts and feelings about a situation well enough to be able to rely on your gut and head as reliable sources, giving you confidence and courage to decide and then act. Thoughts to stock. Identify an important decision you need to make now. What does your head say about the decision? What does your heart say? Which will you listen to? List your primary pet peeves and judgments. Take one and ask yourself who you would be or how you would act if you did not have this judgment at all. Entitlement. Check your prima donna. If you pounced on this card, it means you have the sense that you are the one who deserves the most attention for who you are or what you've done. You might believe you are the best with no close seconds, and that this place or position is unquestionable. Not only do you play the starring role in your own drama, you view all others as mere supporting actors, there to serve you. And as you make waves in your world, whether or not you are aware, whatever the ripples, you take little to no responsibility for them. You may be too busy being the cat's meow to notice a negative impact. This grand poobah posture could be a lifelong pattern or phase. Whichever it is, you are now being asked to take inventory of the toll it takes on you and others. Contrary to some beliefs, your ego is not simply something to inflate or get rid of. At its best, it is a mediator between the different parts of yourself, calling for attention and unification into a whole, healthy self. That part of us that is perpetually needing to be fed, sometimes called a hungry ghost, usually turns out to be a scaredy cat needing to be seen or scratched between the ears. As you become more aware of this unmet need for acknowledgement and the traps it has set for you, you'll also begin to see a whole litter box of buried resentments and scars from wounds inflicted from some of your closest relationships. These may require some gentle transformation through a heartfelt apology or an inquiry into what it's been like for others when you unconsciously need to receive credit for everything. The idea of entitlement can be looked at another way as well. Perhaps you're not being valued for who you really are, not just for what you leave what you have or to give? Where do you need to rightfully acknowledge and claim your contribution or participation as valuable so you can respect, accept, and love yourself at a core level? Because you are inherently unique, special, and lovable just for who you are entitled to love and be loved. When the mask of the prima donna is removed, the real you is revealed in its beauty and innocence. Other thoughts to stock. Where in your life do you demand or expect to be seen? What conscious and unconscious ways do you seek acknowledgement? Who has the expectation most impacted, and in what ways? Okay. It's raining pretty hard, so Phyllis is getting upset. It's okay. She'll settle down in a minute. Envy. Find your own. If you pounced on this card, it means you can let go of comparing yourself to others and what they have or do as your measure of desire or success. You may be focused on others' toys or what they have or do that you don't, and yelling about how loud about it out loud or to yourself. It's time to end any misery, separation, sense of deprivation, and scarcity that envious thoughts create for you. You can transform the energy around envy when you ask, what is it you really want, and focus on that. When you can be genuinely happy that someone has achieved what you aspire to and enlist their help in getting that for you too, if they're willing, you can further stretch yourself by being grateful for what you do have. The happiest cats in the world are those that love whatever shows up, as they don't feel entitled or expect the world to lay all its mice at their feet. It's okay to want what others have when it serves all. Abundant, healthy, delicious food, safe and affordable, attractive and sustainable shelter, adequate and artful clothing, affordable and readily available health care, ability to travel, and more. You are now being asked to move beyond envy to embrace the possibilities for creating some or all of that in your life. You can use the creative tension of envy or the gap between what is desired and the current situation as a catalyst to spring into action. What in your life could you now curtail that would free up more time and energy to pursue your fondest dreams? You may have already discovered that when you do obtain the prize that looked so attractive when others had it is not, after all, what brings you your greatest happiness or satisfaction. Getting clear about what makes you truly happy and going after that can stop envy in its tracks. It's all about you. Other thoughts to stock. Whenever our good friend Beth Lefevre sees something she wants, she asks these 3 questions. Do I want it? Do I need it? Does it serve me? If the answer to all 3 is yes, it may be something worth pursuing. How has envy kept you at a distance from others? What would it take to close that distance? Equilibrium. Find your balance. If you pounced on this card, it means that somewhere in your life you are feeling out of kilter and may need to seek greater equilibrium in relationship, your work, business, or some other aspect of your life. You may feel something is off, but don't know exactly what it is, or you feel something is missing and do know what that is, but aren't sure how to bring it more fully into your life at this time. Perhaps you are weighing your options and wondering where you will land and how you will achieve a more balanced life. Balance is not a steady state, as some may believe, where you make a move, find that sweet spot, and stay forever. Seeking equilibrium is a work in progress, whether that be in relationship, finances, work, or creativity. It is about closing the gap between what you say you want and what you are doing to get it. When you know you are stalking what has greatest value to you, what will provide you with a deeper sense of satisfaction and inner peace, you will feel less tippy, more grounded and centered in who you really are. Now is a good time to balance your perspective by tapping into your inherent and personal connection to the greater equilibrium of the divine, that bigger field where nature's forces and abundant resources can hold you up and help you land where you most need to be. When you capture what's missing and release what no longer serves you, the scales will then reflect the perfect weight for you in your life now. Other thoughts to stock. Write down a list of what you are willing to release from your life and a list of what you want more of in your life. Take the release list, say farewell, and burn it. Take the list of things you want in your life and begin taking actions, steps to have more of that. Expectation. Expect the best. If you pounced on this card, it means you may have something on the line you're hoping to pull in and land. This is a time for you to look at the energy you hold around what you want to show up in your life. Is your frame of mind that of a dream catcher or a dream dasher? Some might be of a mind that expectations are a setup, and they certainly can be. If you think the world is playing a cat and mouse game with you and out to get you, what you're likely to notice most are scams and treachery. After all, what you put your attention on grows more present in your life. If you're focusing on the bowl being half empty, it's not likely to be filled. Holding on to expectations that others need to change or make it easier for you to bring in your prize can cut your lines fast. What do you need to take responsibility for changing in you? If you're failing to make appointments in order to prevent disappointments, what is your worst fear? Name it. On the other paw, if you're excited or can get excited about possibilities and can picture some of the best case scenarios in living color, just wait and see what happens when you use that mental emotional net. What would it look like to chronically carry out great expectations, imagining the outcome you would like, but with no attachment to how or when it might manifest in your life or what you end up catching? You can perch yourself in an ever-ready posture for more of what you want in your life by maintaining this positive attitude. Then, when something you want to do, be, or have does not manifest in the time you'd prefer, at least you're feeling good and expansive instead of anxious or depressed until it does. It's not uncommon for things to show up much faster than expected as well, and with less effort than you imagined. Just remember, you're not the only one pulling strings in this mysterious universe we all inhabit. Other thoughts to stock. What limiting thoughts have been preying on your mind? Can you replace them with visions of plenty? How do your expectations that others need to change lead you astray in your relationships with them? What do you want to manifest for yourself this day, this week, month, or year? Write it down. Interesting. Exploration. Explorer. Step outside your boundaries. If you pounced on this card, it means you're being asked to look and move beyond the familiar and comfortable to find and mark new territory. It's time to stalk beyond old boundaries, especially those that are self-imposed. This could mean leaving the safety of your litter and discovering who you are away from the conventions, scripts, and programmed beliefs telling you that you're not ready, too weak, don't know enough, or that it's too scary or unsafe to risk change. This is your chance to make a break from any agendas or expectations that have only kept you down or had you curled up trying to avoid the inevitable. You may simply have outgrown your own skin and need to stretch into a new and roomier version of you. Consider this as your permission to embody your explorer self, the one who seeks more excitement, passion, fun, and learning. Maybe it's time to go off the charts. That can take many forms, some of them big. Those who were convinced the world was flat initially frowned upon or laughed at those who sailed to its edge, and lo and behold, did not fall off. The risks can be big, but so can the payoffs. You may have less to lose by sailing away than staying behind with the flat world crowd. Consider making a bucket list of things, places, or experiences you always wanted to explore, or something that recently appeared on your horizon. Then you can prioritize the list, putting your strongest desires first, or if they all sound enticing, pick the one you can begin now and leap into action. Other thoughts to stock. What are you ready to let go of that can give you the time and space to explore more? Release those. Organize the people and resources that can help you with your journey of exploration, whether it's taking a class, a workshop, or booking a trip around the world. Begin your exploration by doing your homework to find the information you need. Exposed. Time to come clean. If you pounced on this card, you may have been caught in the act of doing something intentionally or unintentionally that made some kind of mess or created a stir. Or maybe there is something you've done that you're not proud of and you fear being exposed and shamed. Whether as simple as catnapping on the job or something more severe, it's time to take account of what happened and what role you played, so you can move back into harmony with the situation or persons affected, including yourself. Whatever act or incident has been exposed, you can begin by recognizing you're not a bad cat and poop happens. You may not be able to put everything back just the way it was, and that's okay. What's done is done. The important lessons here is to take responsibility without slinking around and hoping no one will notice. When you come clean by admitting your errors or mistakes, you can seize a new opportunity to be bigger than the situation. You can make amends with others without losing face or whiskers. When you recognize your honesty and humility can go a long way in patching up a tear in a relationship or a broken trust. Don't let the cat get your tongue. Own up to what's yours. Drop any protective catitude that does not serve you, and you'll be on your way to having spilled milk become something you can simply lick up rather than letting it lick you. Other thoughts to stop. What is something you'd like to confess to lighten your load? Where have you done some damage you've still not owned up to? Can you forgive yourself first, then get on with making reparations? Who do you need to make amends with now? Family. Oh. All in the pride. If you pounced on this card, it means you're looking at your relationship to your family of origin or your family of choice, or perhaps a mix of the two. What happened for you in your original litter and what plays out now with those whom you shared love and intimacy are intertwined, often unconsciously. You have a choice to become more conscious. Families can give us what we need to thrive and grow. Even feral cats don't usually live completely on their own. How are our early needs for attachment, nourishment, and constant care are met set the stage for the person and personality we become. Though it seems we had no choice about what box we found ourselves in and who was regaling beside us, the future choices we make and the destiny we create is for sure a function of the way our caregivers showed up for us or did not. Later on, as adult partners or parents ourselves, we learn more about how much we took on from those times. By the way, we respond and react in a pride of our own making. This is a good time to honor what was learned and useful, even if painful, in your family of origin. This is also a good time to observe patterns that don't serve you in your current family of choice or the one you dream of creating and curling up with around the hearth. You can replace what did not work with what can, healing old wounds in the process, and bringing about a more loving and peaceful world, one family at a time. With any family, requiring perfection is not an option. The best you can do is to keep stretching into becoming more of who you are while giving others the freedom to be and become who they are. In family, there are daily lessons and challenges, joy, celebration, and satisfaction that keep the ball rolling through those times when it seems to be unraveling. Constant open communication about feelings and needs is required within a context of high respect for individuality and diversity. That's how you feel the love. Other thoughts to stock. What is your relationship with your family of origin, and how have they shaped who you are today? What do you need or want to forgive, resolve, or transform with your family? Who can support you? Write down or collage in vivid detail your dream family. Oh, I think I'll do that, my dream family. My dream family is all of my family here. Yes. Okay. Flexibility. Stretch your limits. If you pounced on this card, it means it's time to stretch your limbs to a new edge where greater possibilities and freedom lie. You may have felt stuck in some area of your life or restricted in your flow of energy, money, love, or whatever you'd like to create more of. Your fixed ideas of what is possible for you and what is not may be your greatest obstacle in reaching for and realizing any dreams you may hold. If you believe your old stories of how things show up for you or don't, those scripts will continue to direct your life, keeping you catatonic. When we fixate on a limited view of what we are capable of, we are not likely to experience life beyond that range of motion held in place by old limiting beliefs. The flexibility that is called for in your life now is the letting go of fixed ideas and a ferocious commitment to allowing new ideas, new relationships, and new creations to come into your life. It's time to flex your change muscles by getting clear about what you really want, then observing what actually happens rather than succumbing to the habit of predicting outcomes based on your old stories. The art of flexibility is one you can learn best by getting more comfortable with not knowing. Staying loose, open, and relaxed gives you the power to pivot when things change or don't turn out the way you had hoped, at least for the moment. Increasing your flexibility keeps you poised for new and more diverse postures and interesting angles you may never have dreamed could be achieved. Remember that most of the time, this does not happen overnight. Fostering a flexible mind is like taking care of a pet. A regimen of regular feeding, watering, and exercise is required to maintain a flexible state of mind and body. Other thoughts to stock. Think about who in your life has cultivated this quality of flexibility in mind and body. What can you learn from them? What practices would work best for you to increase mental, emotional, and physical flexibility? Explore a martial art, a yoga practice, Tai Chi, Qigong, or other whole body mind practice that could work for you. Interesting. Flexibility. Focus. Oh my goodness, that cat is focused. Eyes on the prize. If you pounced on this card, it means that your attention and focus have drifted away from what you really want. You are caught up in the daily distractions and detours that catch your eye in the moment with the complexity of modern life and all its demands. That's so easy to do. You may be merely toying with what's really important, playing cat and mouse instead of taking life by the tail and capturing the bigger rewards you deserve. You may be depleted by drama, both others and your own, that have had you running around chasing one colorful string of yarn after another. Now is the time to get clear again and put greater focus on what really feeds you and fills you up. As we observe others staying the course to seize their prize, it's important to always remember you are unique in what it is that makes you meow with pleasure and delight. Is it more money, more time, more love, more peace, or more fill in the blank? Sometimes what we thought we wanted was has more to do with what others value than what is in our own heart and what we know is more aligned with who we truly are. One person's catnip can be another's catastrophe. Though following dazzling distractions can hide from us a truth, a choice, or a reality we'd rather not confront or are trying to avoid, we only lose more ground if we fall into the trap of playing it safe. Prioritize what matters most in your life and keep your attention on that which will bring you more of that. It's inevitable that it's inevitable as your attention will guide your action toward your most rewarding experiences, whether you are carefully padding along or striking like lightning. Other thoughts to stock. How are you different and also the same as your friends and family members with regard to what is most fulfilling for you? Claim your uniqueness. What helps keep you focused? A practice, a process, or system that works for you in attaining what you most want. Commit to that. Friendship. Care is there. We just have some coffee. Okay. Still raining. It's always raining here where I am at. Okay, care is there. If you pounced on this card today, you are in need of a friend or are being called to be one. Perhaps you have many or none. Now is the time to take inventory of what friends you do have and what they mean to you and what friendship means to you and provides for you in your life. True friendship means the presence of people and animals in your life for which you feel a close connection, a source of comfort and joy. It's a relationship in which you can show your heart and soft underbelly, or more specifically, your tender feelings from gladness and sadness to fear or anger, and trust you won't get your head bit off. Real friends avoid personal blame, judgment, and negative criticism when they see you may be going astray. They give you affirmation, praise, encouragement, and support where you need it, but avoid doing for you what you need to do for yourself. Seeking closeness by catting around or manipulation by holding out will usually sabotage efforts to create friendship. Instead, seek friendships where all land on equal footing and stay the course. And the so-called friends that come with notoriety or popularity often turn out to be the quickest to abandon you when times get tough. Some may feel they have an entire litter box full of those experiences. What now is holding you back from enjoying friendship? What is preventing you from being a friend? Is there history you can mend through humble and heartfelt apology? Is there a new chapter or place to begin again with an old friend, or is it simply a time to be grateful for the lessons and gifts you were given in that relationship and move on? What might you do to catalyze a brand new friendship? Other thoughts to stock. Make an inventory of what you would like to experience in your friendships with others and ask yourself if you are providing that in return. Identify a friend you care about and believe you've offended. Then make amends. You may discover they were not offended, but you've been carrying that thought as a personal burden for far too long. When seeking new friends, participate in social or cultural activities you enjoy that are interactive. Be on the lookout for who you'd like to know more about. Invite them to lunch or for a walk. Spend more time asking questions and listening than talking about yourself. Frisky, time to play. If you pounced on this card, it means you've been on a tightrope for a while and need to bring your life back into balance with more fun. It's time to release the worry, anxiety, and pressure to perform that has been dogging you for a while. Creative tension can be healthy, but hypertension is never good. Even when you are on the hunt or on alert with your duties and responsibilities, you need to remember to schedule yourself for some downtime and structure-free play to save you from a creeping sense of burden, fatigue, overwork, and drudgery. You are not meant to be a machine on overdrive, a caterpillar bulldozer simply plowing through life. You've reached a point where less is more, and it's time to recharge, renew, and replenish. Taking a play break need not mean your life will go off track. People may need you, but not the you that is only half there, half alive, and bedraggled. Things may need to get done, and they always will. If you stepped away for a moment or more, would it really create a cataclysm in your world? Probably not, though your pride might be getting in the way when you think that. More than a cat nap, you may need a form of catnip to stimulate and attract you to a field of play where you can let down your fur and roll around for a while, carefree and without any agenda. It's time to let yourself unravel that tight ball you've been holding inside. Sometimes we need role models or a catalyst to help nudge us toward that field, tall tree, or sandbox. Who do you know that would be a good playmate? Someone who regularly takes breaks and knows how to be in the moment. You can take every day a play day. You can make every day a play day if you see that it's less about time and more about where you put your attention that matters. Just know that when you have played enough, you'll be ready to more fully engage with work again, or may even regard your work itself as play in your new and re-energized state of mind. Other thoughts to stock. Who seems frisky and playful with no ulterior motive or need for you to do any particular thing but just hang out? Make a date to get together. What do you do that takes your mind off work and refreshes your heart? Schedule that in. How can you make your work feel more like play? Make a list of ideas. Now do some of these. Fullness. Give thanks. Look how precious that cat is. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, knocking my crystals over. Okay. If you pounce on this card, it means it's the perfect time to stop and smell the roses. Count your blessings and give thanks for those things that have helped fill your bowl in life. Perhaps you've temporarily forgotten what a gift life is and what other animals have given to make your life that much richer. Maybe you've unknowingly taken someone for granted at work, at play, or anyone you encounter during the course of your busy, task-filled day. Though gratitude is something you may feel, how often do you express and share it out loud? You fill yourself up when you sincerely meow someone's praises, compliment them, or acknowledge what they've meant to you as you've gone padding down the path of life. Gratitude is a backbone for building a life that grows, blooms, and appreciates over time. Okay, sorry, where was I? Let's see. Gratitude is a backbone for building a life that grows, blooms, and appreciates over time. To appreciate is to literally add to something, to increase that for which we are thankful. What do you want to grow now, build upon, or increase in your life? Express gratitude, though what you want is already present. Oh, as though. Express gratitude as though what you want is already present. So you are filled with positive anticipation. Your ancestors, your relatives, and current relationships have all played a part in making you who you are, playing important roles in the lessons you've learned and continue to learn. You may find something to be grateful for in your lineage and pedigree. You can keep it simple by remembering that your next breath of air is followed by another, always available and limitless. The water or milk you lap up and the food you devour, the sky above and the earth beneath your paws are all an easy catch when it comes to finding something to be grateful for. Other thoughts to stock. Create a gratitude journal and record at least 3 things each day that you are grateful for. Be grateful in advance for what you want to show up. Acknowledge and thank people everywhere you go for whatever service, kindness, or just their presence that is great has graced your life. Watch what happens. Grace. Everyone is connected. If you pounced on this card, it means you are being asked to become more aware and are more aware of honor and honor the presence of someone or something very special in your life. It could be a fleeting moment of connection with another being or a lifelong relationship you've recognized as having an ennobling effect on you. You may experience grace from the feelings of warmth and expansion or sense of the miraculous that come with it. You may experience a state in which you go beyond the boundaries of your own skin and mind to a larger field in which the web of life becomes more real and palpable for you. In some way, you are being blessed, and there may be a few words for it beyond a background purr. It could be that your presence and outstretched hand graces others more so than anything you do for them. If the effect of your presence is to elevate or enhance their sense of well-being, when you become aware of this effect, you can acknowledge and go with it, letting go of notions you must work or try harder to make a difference. This can do more to separate you from others rather than bringing you closer to a soft and fur-covered state of grace. True grace is effortless. Acknowledging others in your life or a larger life force is magnifying your well-being and higher aspirations is a step toward enjoying more grace and ease. You can't control grace, but you can amplify how you experience it when you give it your full attention. You can recognize that even what may seem a mere stroke of good luck may be more than just happenstance, but something you were perfectly perched for and anticipating all along. Other thoughts to stock. What does grace mean to you? Have you experienced moments of grace? Who and what was present in that experience? Let someone know how they have graced your life. Oh my. Grudge. Bury, don't carry. This poor kitty. If you pounced on this card, it means that you are carrying resentment about someone or something that no longer serves you and your highest good. You may have been hurt physically or emotionally and feel justified in holding that someone or something responsible, as they or it may in fact be. There was an event or act that got your fur up, or you were handled in a way that was less than tender and loving. As a result, you've harbored a belief that you were done wrong, and no matter what, you will never be appeased. Your back remains arched, fur standing straight up, and you feel compelled to keep protecting yourself, even though the threat has passed, the deed long ago done, the cat fight over. Carrying the heavy emotional baggage of a grudge amplifies further whatever hurt may have been inflicted. You may be ready to let some or all of that go as it continues to drag you down. When you hold a grudge about what happened, it can be your own story about what happened, played over and over again in your mind, that keeps the grudge in place. True or not, your belief in that story as the only version of what happened is what keeps you yelling and screeching inside. Could it be that what you perceived as being backhanded was actually an attempt to give you a hand meant to help you in some way you could not understand at the time? If you could get more of the backstory or other points of view, perhaps you could be released from the stored feelings of anger and hurt that sap your energy today. Drawing this card suggests it's finally time to drop the grudge, bury the hatchet, and make more room to enjoy all of life's most precious and fleeting moments. Other thoughts to stock. Explore the work of Byron Katie, an inquiry process that frees one from persistent, painful thoughts. Consider asking a person you hold responsible for your grudge that they thought happened or what it was like for them. Write or tell the story of what happened to you from the standpoint of the other person. That's a good idea. I'm not a grudgy person. How about you? Let me know in the comments. Hunter, stay with the process. If you pounced on this card, it means you are in the process with attaining something you truly want or need, and the timing for when you arrive or it arrives is out of your control. It may be you're growing weary of the chase or at the end of your rope with much energy and time already spent in your pursuit. You may not have initially realized how long it would take and what skills, tools, and resources you'd need to be successful. Now you have a better idea, but may have lost patience or feel you've been stalking the wrong thing. In the long game, it's only natural to go in and out of a field of diverse emotions, some of them less fun than the first thrill of the hunt. If you are exhausted, it may be time for a break, a moment or more to let go and relax from that more hyper-aware state required to seek and find that which will be ideal for you in relationship, business, or any life dimension. 90% of a successful capture is stalking, a process involving careful planning and precise execution. You must learn everything you possibly can about the habits, traits, characteristics, and qualities of that which you seek in order to develop your best strategies to attract more of what you want. You may be lucky and catch your query early, but that's not the norm. The hunt for ultimate fulfillment can be lifelong, requiring much individual learning and discipline, supportive partners, and communities over time. Most Olympic champions give credit to all those that helped them succeed. A hunting party is more successful than a lone hunter. With persistence and patience, you'll be able to cover much ground and eventually sink your claws into what you're looking for, sometimes in the most unlikely places. Stay alert to the treasures in your life now and for the ones to come. Other thoughts to stock. Make sure that you still want what you say you are looking for. Take breaks often and celebrate all victories, large and small. Find a partner or partners in the shared hunt. You don't need to go it alone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Improvisation. Just make it up. You know that old saying, fake it till you make it. Okay. If you pounced on this card, it means you are being invited to take charge of your creativity in a way that best meets your current situation or circumstances, even when you don't really know what you're doing or how it will turn out. It's time to pull something new out of your bag of tricks, with your imagination being the cat you're letting out of the bag. Improvisation is using what you already have or can find in your own den or backyard to devise a unique solution to a problem, rise to a challenge, or answer the door opportunity is knocking or scratching on. When those conditions occur, you may be hesitating or even finding yourself initially in a state of catalepsy. That's natural. It may be something you've never seen or experienced before, and there may be an element of danger or real risk involved. Proceeding with caution can go paw in paw with doing your best thinking or envisioning before you assemble any pieces or elements into something new without an instruction manual or guide. There most likely is no guide when your creativity is being called to new territory. As so many artists and improvisers will tell you, if you feel fear, do it anyway. You can connect to your own inner MacGyver, the television character caught in jams who gets out of them in creative ways by working with a minimum of materials at hand. You too can learn to solve and create anything you put your attention on when you learn how to let that powerful part of your brain that is on autopilot actively work on your behalf. In fact, it does not need to be difficult, but can be easy and fun when you're in the flow. Those cats who've gone out on a limb will be the first to tell you they often make things up as they go along. With each move you make, reflect on the results. Make a new plan as needed, then proceed. again and again until you scratch up another one for the power of improvisation. Other thoughts to stock. Have you been presented with a new problem to solve or wrap your tail around? If no one knows the best or right answer, it's time to improvise. What fears come up about heading out on a new trail or getting out of the box? Acknowledge those as you approach the new situation or challenge. Independence, on your own. If you pounce on this card, it means you are ready to cut loose, breathe free, and head out on your own. The open road or a new direction beckons as you've been scratching at the door trying to get someone to open it. That someone is you. Perhaps some relationship, business, or pursuit of some kind is driving you crazy and you need a break, or maybe it's simply no longer a good fit for you. You may have commitments to honor, but that does not mean you need to be owned by them or stuck with that owner for life. You have choices, and this time it really is all about you breaking out of some old pattern before it drains your life force away, leaving little more than a skeleton behind. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And what might your vehicle be? Make a plan to strike out on your own based on a careful assessment of what you really need and want now, apart from others' expectations or demands. Escape may be what you need, but the power of what pulls you can be more inspiring and fun than what's chasing you away. Independence need not be lonely or even a solo experience. It's the spirit that counts, and what you do next might very well put you in new company or a new tribe. If you give yourself time to create some kind of roadmap before you take off, no need to overplan your destination. But do rid yourself of procrastination. It's your time. Declare your independence. Other thoughts to stock. What is something you are ready to release and step away from to obtain more independence? What is something you've always wanted to do but felt something was holding you back? Make a plan to do that and take the first step. Indulgence, permission to pamper. If you pounced on this card, it means you're needing and deserving some tender loving care, time, and attention. It may have been too long since you've fully kicked back or laid back, letting yourself just float without a care. It's time to give yourself that permission, especially if you've been stuck, struggling, or in some altercation with fur flying. Look at whatever may be stopping you from stopping and just stop it. If you're looking for someone else to grant you a break, a vacation, or sabbatical before you indulge yourself, you could be waiting a long time. You owe it to yourself to negotiate in good faith with your inner critic or self-denier that says no when you think about taking time off or investing in fun for the fun of it, with no other agenda. Tell your inner critic to take a hike or send it gently off on its own vacation. After all, indulging in rest, relaxation, recreation, and restoration is what keeps your coat shiny and soft and your limbs loose. You need to fill your bowl again before you can once more spill over and meet your duties. obligations and commitments with a fresh energy and sense of possibility. Overindulgence is a different animal. There, if there is a deep void to be filled, you may be tempted to revert to old habits or addictions that don't restore you. Just leave, just leave you feeling more drained. Indulgence is a conscious choice to allow yourself more time and space to go within to find what is most fulfilling and purposeful in your life. Indulging in fully living your passions can get you back on track, releasing you from a box you've been scratching to get out of. So go ahead, give yourself a guilt-free time out of time. Other thoughts to stock. Take small breaks throughout the day just to observe and enjoy nature, a song, a joke, whatever small pleasures come your way or that you invite. Start planning a longer break from responsibilities, letting your imagination run wild. Then begin to strategize how it can happen. Help others indulge in their fantasies with you along for the ride. Get a contact high by sharing in their experience. Aww. Innocence. Look through fresh eyes. If you pounced on this card, it means you are being asked to be open to some new situation, relationship, project, or adventure. It's time to drop old stories about the past and set aside an overly critical eye so you can more fully experience what may come next. There is a danger your mind will instantly catalog the new in an old mental file and write it off. Resist that mental default. You may sometimes feel like a fraidy cat, lonely, or very vulnerable in this new situation that you think you're not prepared for or don't have what it takes to go there. It's important to remember that everyone facing a new challenge or opportunity has gone through the very same thing, sometimes shivering and shaking like a newborn, eyes wide as they open to take in the new terrain and unfamiliar objects and characters. At first, you may be hesitant as you try to size things up. That's only natural. Just remember, there is no rush here. You can slow down, take your time, sit in wonder and awe, and get excited about new ideas and prospects, called a beginner's mindset. You allow yourself to be kitten-like, doing your best to suspend judgment, so new learning can occur. Can anyone here Phyllis snoring? I hope not. She's snoring rather loud in the other room. This does not mean you erase all that has gone on in your life before. A CAT scan would quickly tell you your past experiences, knowledge, and even wisdom is all still there in the memory bank. But when you intentionally experience life as something brand new, even things you thought you knew well may appear differently. You might suddenly realize you've been seeing the tip of the tail. You become the learner instead of the knower, and life becomes even more vivid and rich as you look through your new and fresh, innocent eyes. Other thoughts to stock. Can you let yourself drop into a beginner's mind, at least for a little while? Is there a new opportunity you sense may be presenting itself for you? Name it. I name it Floofy. What thoughts and feelings arise as you contemplate this new development? Meditation or a walk in nature may help you refresh your inborn capacity for being present and open. Nature's always lovely that way, isn't it? Oh my goodness, Phyllis is snoring so loud. She must be exhausted after it raining all day. Poor baby. Oh, Instigator. Gotta start something. If you pounced on this card, it means you're being placed in the catbird seat to initiate or begin something new. If not you, who? It's your time. Perhaps you felt caged while others have been driving you around with their agendas and stories about how you should live your life and the obligations or duties they think you should fulfill. Maybe you've expended a lot of your energy trying to swat away those irritating voices or constant pressures to produce in order to meet others' standards. The world needs instigators. Instigators wake us up and get us moving forward and thinking in different ways. They catalyze change, often spontaneously. You may be challenged by an instigator now or are doing the challenging. The key is to examine your motives. Unhealthy instigation is motivated by a frozen need for attention, to deflect attention, to swipe at, dominate, or control others. Find healthy ways that arise from your true desires and highest motivations. Then strategize a plan of action that honors and opens doors for everyone. What stops you from being a positive change agent in your life and that of others? Fear, judgment, resentment, rejection? Do you believe you need others' permission? You can begin by becoming a curious cat. Stock creative ideas and solutions by starting small and avoid going too far out on a limb. It's time to start a revolution, so set yourself free. Focus on what matters most while finding others that share your mission and vision. Other thoughts to stock. Reflecting on your past experiences. How have you instigated change in your life in various situations, circumstances, or roles? Where are you living someone else's agenda or the life they want you to live while denying your truth? What can you do now to instigate a shift to what you most need and desire? Create relationships and a team that can instigate a collective change in your family, workplace, neighborhood, community, or the world. The world. The Joker. Joker, stir it up. If you pounced on this card, it's a good time to lighten up, be silly, or capture a comical perspective on an unexpected situation. Maybe you've been chasing your own tail too long and could use some shaking up. You're now given permission to be a little mischievous, to take some risks, to put more spark into your life and others. Humor is usually unpredictable and can break tension, interrupt a rigid pattern, or illuminate the truth. What has gone stale and needs stirring up in your life? What fun could be afoot? The Cheshire Cat predates the 1865 appearance in Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland that made the mysterious and mischievous cat mainstream. A primary feature of this cat is that from time to time its body disappears and the last thing visible is its iconic grin, leaving us to wonder if it's coming or going. When something disrupts your schedule, we lose something or something unexpected shows up. We can wonder if we're coming or going. When we stay open to what is happening as a catalyst for something new and different than what we expect, we're able to make the best of it when the Joker once again steals our toy or grabs our treat. What would happen if you surrendered control, took a risk, or made a change without knowing the outcome in advance? Unpredictability doesn't necessarily spell danger. It can often yield opportunity. Like a cat with 9 lives, you can explore any number of crazy options, ignore the catcalls, and still pop up, knowing that life, after all, is change. So why not find and embrace the mirth of the moment and enjoy the ride? Other thoughts to stock. What fun, humor, or joy have you been holding back because you're worried about how others might react? It's time to let that cat out of the bag and go for it. Stir up your littermates with a joke or harmless prank. What can you do to allow more levity, silliness, surprise, and unpredictability into your life? Let yourself tread into new zones of uncertainty and watch your world come alive. Oh, new cards. You can unstack now. Okay, good. Judgmental. Observe your critic. Okay, if you pounced on this card, you are sitting in judgment of yourself or others in a less than constructive posture. Sometimes just judgment can ensure our survival and creativity as a species. We need to be able to differentiate what is safe and what is dangerous, what we like and what we don't like. We make choices and take action on the basis of judgments all day long. When we become judgmental, we often turn on ourselves or others based on an evaluation that we or they are bad for what they do or who they are. This kind of judgment may often be unconscious and the result of early life training and can arise from hurtful experiences in particular situations that we later compare with new experiences. Often what is underlying negative judgment is an unmet want or need. The thinking might go like this: if only someone or something would change, then I would not have to do or be something, or I could finally get something. When we've been judged or spend time with those who are chronically judgmental, we take in their negative messages or stories about us and develop what's called the inner critic. Then we no longer need to hear their scratching on our door. The scratching comes from within. The inner critic can be more abusive than any miscreant pet owner, draining our energy and the life force when it's whimpering or roaring with incessant self-criticism. A person who has not tamed their inner critic can also be critical of everyone and everything, putting others on the defensive and causing them to scat. Once identified, it's possible to make friends with your inner critic with your inner critic and ask it to speak to you in a loving way that helps guide and support you to make decisions in alignment with your highest good and values. And then you will be less likely to strike out at others with claws bared. Other thoughts to stock. What is your relationship with your inner critic? What does it tell you now? What would a constructively loving inner critic say to you? Get a 5x8 blank note card and create a collage with an image of your inner critics. Put it where you can see it and talk to it or them every day. Create a healthy dialogue and relationship with this part of yourself. It's okay, kitty. It's okay. Manifest. From thought to form. Thinking of a goldfish, is he? If you pounced on this card, it might be the perfect time to make or manifest something you share with others and the world. You may already be very active doing all manner of things to keep yourself and litter going. You may not want to bring that to a screeching halt, but now more than ever, you need to set aside time to do something special. Find within yourself an idea that has been lying in wait for you to play and work with, hoping it could come into form and be dragged before admiring and appreciative eyes. State your intention for what you want more of in your life. Then focus your attention on that. Take all the actions you can think of, the purpose of which is to keep your attention focused on that intention for what you most want to manifest. That's a powerful way to manifest anything. When we wait and procrastinate birthing something that has been scratching and itching to get out, we risk stopping our flow and energy in the rest of our lives. Nothing is more halting than the thought that someone else has already done it, so what's the use? Always remember this: what you bring, be it a product or service, has your own unique paw print, your special vision, mission, and sense of purpose. Much of the time, your creative endeavor will be a collaborative effort with the help of experts or within a team. Don't worry about trying to herd cats. Just get clear about team roles so you can focus on what brings you the most joy in the creative process. Then explore how it can be a win-win for all to work together. Other thoughts to stock. What is an idea you've been sitting on that you think has potential? Use a journal or mind map to visually capture your ideas and what it could look like when they are full blown. Take a writing, painting, or sculpting class or class of any kind that could result in you making something with help and support. Creativity is unlimited in the forms it can take. Maybe you create a new dance step, a service of some kind, or a new twist to something that already exists. You can do it. Okay. Ooh, mystery. Embrace the unknown. If you pounced on this card, you are being invited to let go of the need for certainty in order to pad into the unknown. It's natural to be afraid of the dark when we can't see what's coming or know what the future holds. Unlike real cats, humans can't see in the dark and may imagine threat and danger. We may twitch at the idea that something is out to get us. Catastrophe is around the corner. Before we've even taken a first step, we may be feeling out of control, especially when we imagined we had the situation in paw. We may even have been punished in the past for not knowing, and so reflexively strive to be on top of the situation, attempting to limit the risk of failure or success. Your safest perch now is to not know and to trust that benevolent life forces larger than your struggling self will support you when you do leap. Not having ready answers, solutions, resolutions, and fixes to a problem or situation that has been holding you captive for some time and is not your fault. Holding back for fear of what may or may not happen is not advised now. Ready yourself to get off the fence and prepare to make a move in the direction of your truest calling. Without knowing in advance how things will turn out or what the results may be. This is a time to step into the mystery that is pregnant with new possibilities that may be tracking you as much as you are tracking them. And you can let go and let them, knowing you will be held. You will be okay, and you will become stronger with each step you take on your own unique and winding path. Solutions and resolutions you've never dreamed of will emerge when you identify, feel, then move through the fear to embrace the mystery we call life. Other thoughts to stock. Identify the problem or situations for which you have no clear answer or solution. Name your fear or other feelings that stalk you when thinking about this problem or situation. Sit quietly and let these feelings well up. Then ask them what they are trying to tell you. Carefully listen and watch for any answers in whatever form they may appear. Okay, nurture. Take your licks. If you pounced on this card, it means you are in need of care and encouragement or have been called upon to offer it. It's in our nature to nurture, and the only way any animal is able to grow and thrive, though we may think of the mother cat as the primary nurturer of her kittens, other influences outside the family can also nurture or influence the way in which the young are pushed or guided to learn about and explore their world. Other cats, people, and places can be nurturing for your well-being and development at any age or stage in life. Perhaps you did not receive the kind of nurturing you needed or wanted when you were a kitten. And as a result, don't trust those around you to provide what you need now. You may have had to scratch out your own identity and living with little help. Receiving help or assistance now may bring up feelings of weakness or vulnerability you'd rather not experience. Now is the time to examine what defenses you've created and open to allow others to provide you encouragement and support. When you do, you are giving others the satisfaction of nurturing that draws from their own bed of accumulated experience and wisdom. If you notice someone struggling, You may have a spontaneous urge to help that arises from your own innate desire to be of assistance. That's a good thing. It doesn't mean you must curl up in the same space with them or lick their wounds to be truly nurturing. When you hear their cat call, your response may be an authentic expression of concern or an offer to simply listen. Doing something with them may be more empowering for their development than doing something for them. Nurturing is something you can stretch into, one step at a time, as those you nurture take their steps in the direction of their unique path of discovery, learning, and growth. Other thoughts to stock. What does it mean for you to nurture or be nurtured? What resistance, if any, do you have to being nurtured? Who would you like to ask to help you in your next stage of growth and development? Who in your life or in the world calls to you to be nurtured and supported? Persistence. Stay the course. If you pounced on this card, it means you need to remain firm in your resolve despite any difficulty or opposition. Whatever the situation amidst your pride or litter, whatever project or endeavor you have committed to, now is not the time to give up. Your effort now requires more endurance, patience, and stamina while keeping your eyes on the prize. They say the darkest hour is before the dawn. Persistence has its rewards even when the quarry seems far afield. When you apply steadfast determination over time, you can snatch victory from defeat, sometimes right out of the air. There are too many stories of those who have perished within a paw's grasp of success. If they'd only taken a few more steps, you can resist I don't know what that word is. Pusillanimous tendencies when you realize there is more to gain by staying with the action, come what may. And whatever does come, you'll be ready to grab it if you stay in position. If the bird is not in hand, it may be soon. Take a look at what stops you from persevering. Is it others that throw up barriers, or is the limitation in your own house, your self-doubt and self-defeating thoughts? Either way, paying attention to distracting naysayers or your own catastrophic thoughts about the worst that can happen will only leave you with bad felines. Time to boycott that. Boycott. Okay. You can catapult over all the holds you back when you realize you do have what it takes to go the last mile. You will find yourself bounding over the finish line or catching the prey you've been stalking when you remain resolute. Other thoughts to stock. What is something you are considering giving up on? What could be the benefits of persisting a bit longer? What limiting thoughts get in your way of following through with the completing projects? We're following through with and completing projects. What thoughts can you place them with or replace them with? Where can you get support to stay the course for getting the results you seek? Persistence. Stick with it. Stick with it. Pounce. Decide to act. If you pounced on this card, it means it's time to take action, whether you leap or step toward that which you say you want more of in your life. Taking action is the most direct way to say yes to something bigger or better while saying no to something holding you back or keeping you small. Getting out of your comfort zone requires a new response. As the saying goes, if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll end up in the same place. Likewise, if you keep doing nothing, you'll be in the same place. Now is a good time to be clear about the prize you seek and to question any limiting beliefs you have about your worthiness or ability to grab your world by the tail. What old cat tales are you telling yourself that drain your enthusiasm, inspiration, or to get up and go? Are you more focused on what you fear you could lose than what you have to gain by taking action? If you are waiting for others to give you permission to act or to expect them to do something before you take action, that can stop you in your tracks. If you find you're clawing your way forward and struggling mightily, you can reflect again on why something is important to you and ask for more support or guidance around strategies and steps. If you are exhausted, take a break before your next bound. A cat nap here and there might be just what you need to re-energize and refresh as you keep the ball rolling with your action plan. Then go out and seize your prey. For time's sake, because we're on like 2 hours now, I'm not going to continue with the other thoughts to stock. We're just going to continue on. Continuing on. Prosperity. Have it all. If you pounced on this card, it means you're looking for more of what fills you up, and it's just around the corner. This cat wants for you what you truly want for you, and the time is now. Perhaps you felt like you're just chasing your tail when it comes to experiencing more financial freedom, deeper and richer relationships, or opportunities to give your greatest gifts, talents, skills, and experience in a way that feeds you and others. If you're frustrated that something you thought you could count on has fallen through, leaving a void or hairball in its wake, now is especially the time to keep the faith. Isn't this the Chinese lucky cat? Is it Chinese or is it Japanese? I can't remember. It's either Chinese or Japanese. I think it's Chinese. Let me know in the comment section below. Which one is it? Is it a Japanese lucky cat or is it a Chinese lucky cat? I don't know. Maybe both cultures have lucky cats and I'm just unaware. Let me know in the comment section below. Most have been taught prosperity is confined to finances and money, only to find themselves in a rat race pursuing the legal tender. It's time to scratch beneath its superficial concept of wealth to discover all the variety and flavors of true abundance. You need not look far. Take a walk outside and notice the limitlessness of the sky. Observe a fountain or waterfall spilling over and continuously flowing. Take a breath and another and another. Where is all this air coming from? You are always sourcing an endless supply of what is needed, and only to the extent you are willing to allow that to be true for you. When you compare what you have to what another has, it's a sure setup for misery. What may appear to you as a fat cat often at closer glance is not the life meant for you at all. Your prosperity formula is unique to you and what you most value in life. What is your way to greater prosperity on your terms? If it's money, so be it. If it's inner peace, lap it up. If it's closer and more loving relationships, open to more love by being more loving and compassionate. Learn to stroke the object of desire by picturing it and by letting yourself feel what it would be like to already have that. Be that, do that. Make that a practice and just notice what shows up. It could be what you imagined or something better. Let me turn the page. Oh, new cards. Oh, new cards. Oh, receive, accept the gift. If you pounced on this card today, it means it's time to let good things come your way. Allow flow to occur and come back to that place that gets you purring. You may think you've been giving and giving and giving with little to show in return. You may feel a blockage in your ability to be on the receiving end for those things you most desire. Perhaps you've been padding along, biding your time, hoping something will show up. Here's the thing. The world can be a demanding place. Duties, responsibilities, and others' expectations can pile up at ferocious pace. If you respond to it all, you will be drained by only giving. You may even lose your sense of who you are and what you need. True. You may be accustomed to being the giver, and being a receiver makes you feel weak and vulnerable. It may threaten your pride or make you feel uncomfortable being in someone's debt. It's time to step into the courage it sometimes takes to ask and receive, while remembering that even ancient texts speaks to the wisdom of ask and you will receive. You are deserving of compliments, affection, connection, and an abundance of opportunities and blessings of all kinds. You deserve that now without having to chase it down. It's important to remember that your act of receiving is giving others pleasure. It's acknowledging, honoring, and validating them for their genuine care, concern, and desire to please. So lay back, let go, and let it flow to you. Might have needed to hear that. Reflection. Pause to think. Oh, kitty terminology. That's so funny. Pause to think. Oh, I'll be right with you in a second. I just have to giggle at that for a second. It's adorable. If you pounced on this card, you might need to give yourself time to sit back and be open to connecting the dots, getting a new perspective or vision. You may be headlong into a commitment, project, or activity that has you breathless. It's time to stop and reflect. Put a temporary hold on whatever it is that prevents you from spending time merely gazing into space. Life is an endless cycle of learning, yet one of the most important components, reflection, is often left hanging or completely ignored. When you take a pause from motion and media, you can begin to get your head together and return to your heart at the same time. To concatenate literally means to link things together in a chain or series. What is going on in your life now that you want to make sense of, to see how it all hooks together? Is there a situation you are triggered by and reacting to, leaving you wondering about how best to respond instead of just reacting? Reflection is key here, both before you act and after, so you can evaluate whether your response achieved the desired result or not. And when you let yourself go deeper into contemplation, a still small meow may surface, calling you to a calmer, gentler place for yourself and those around you. Reflection in itself can be healing. Though it's important to set aside time for just yourself in a way and place conducive to reflection, you can expand on your own reflection in the presence of a pride that respects and honors engaging in and sharing reflections on any subject. This could be friends, family, or a work team. Such a dialogue, not debate, process can help everyone get out of their favorite cardboard box and reach for the highest and best solutions and resolutions for any challenge. Many a catastrophe has been avoided when cool heads convene, slow down, and take the time to reflect together. Every great vision, movement, or accomplishment involves careful and creative reflection. So lay back and take some time today just to reflect. Wait, we have that's not the one. Reflection, release, words. Okay. Receive, reflection, relax, where's release? Okay, so it goes like this in the book. I'm switching it over. One-handed. There we go. Release. This is how it is in the book. That's how I'm reading it. Let it go. Look how adorable he is. I want to do that. If you pounced on this card, you are being given permission to release or let go of struggle, tension, drama, or trauma that has had you in its grip. You may be trying to claw your way into the future thinking nothing can move without you knowing in advance just how things will turn out. Your mind and entire body may be in a holding pattern, poised for danger where danger no longer lies. It's now time to get out of free fall and let gravity help you find new and more stable ground. Surrender is a healthy step in preparation for your next spring into action, one often missed in the hurry to get through a situation, conflict, or encounter that is less than pleasant. You can choose to stop constant activity driven by the shoulds and musts that help you avoid feeling the feelings that have been crying out to be felt. Give yourself time and a place to safely let go of tensions, to relax, and to recharge. In this posture, you can begin to brush out fears and anxieties that have drained you and shut out new opportunities and experiences that are seeking you. Okay, now we're on relax. Relax and take a cat nap. I would love to. If you pounced on this card, it probably means that you've been hard at it, going all out without much of a break. It's time to stretch your legs, curl up, and relax for a spell. Perhaps the need to stop had not occurred to you until now, though. You may well know that constant activity with no rest eventually provides diminishing returns. You don't need a CAT scan to tell you that you may be in for a fall with your health and vitality if you fail to flop out. As with written music, you need a rest here and there to inspire and invigorate your next composition. All types of hip cats, from scientists to social workers, have found it's often downtime from which the ahas, those great ideas and brilliant insights, can spring. You won't be much good to yourself and others if you don't fill your bowl first, finding and setting time aside for a regular breather from whatever it is that has you engrossed and engaged to the point of exhaustion. Taking a break does not mean going catatonic. We often fear that if we simply stop, our world will fall apart. We'll be letting someone down or lose momentum with whatever needs our attention. Notice if that's the case for you, and if these ideas are what's driving you over a cliff or have you hanging on by a thread. You can rest assured it's frequently your idea of what's happening or not that makes you want to keep going without cease rather than the actual reality. When you capture that realization, you'll be on your way to letting down, letting go, and dropping into a deeper response or repose, one that helps you recover, recharge, and renew. Seize the day. Okay. Funny. All right. Retreat. Stop the spin. I mean, really, who gets in the dryer? Silly kitties. It's because it's warm in there. If you pounced on this card, it means you've probably been spinning in circles, chasing your tail and getting nowhere, or not where you'd really like to be. You may feel drenched in responsibilities and heavy with burdens weighing on you for too long. Something or someone is taking a lot of your energy and not charging you back up. It's time to take a real break, dry out, stop the spinning. This could actually mean hiding away from the rest of the world and its demands by consciously going on retreat to restore and rejuvenate. You can give yourself permission to disappear for a while and find your kind of sanctuary, a place that warms you up or cools you down, whatever is most needed to fill you back up. Retreat does not mean you are leaving your life behind or going backward. In fact, you are keeping the door open while crawling into a more comfortable space that helps you find your real self again, apart from what everyone else expects or demands of you. Reward, goodness. Keep your eyes on the prize. If you pounced on this card, it means it's time to capture more joy and fulfillment by taking a good look at what would be most rewarding in work and relationships in all categories of your life. What you find rewarding and what others find rewarding can be vastly different, and that's what makes you unique beyond measure. One person's trash is another's treasure. Getting to your reward first requires putting a clear eye on what you hope to gain by pursuing a passion, then making a closer study of which passage or mouse hole is most likely to produce results. If you are the predator seeking the prize, your biggest obstacle will be self-doubt, fear of failure, fear of success, all preying on you to one extent or another. They can very often sneak up on you uninvited, and when they do, you'll need to be wary and watchful. Many times you may find yourself pawing the air and getting discouraged, wondering if you'll ever firmly possess what you say you truly want. When fears or disappointments do arise, you can climb to higher ground by first acknowledging your predicament and feelings, letting them move as they naturally will through you with no resistance. When you stop fighting them, they'll no longer keep you captive, and you'll be better able to refocus your energy and attention on what you most want once again. Oh my goodness. Risk. Take a chance. If you pounced on this card, it means it's time to take a risk, no matter the consequences. Shoot for the moon without having all the answers, clarity, and certainty you think you need, and without knowing the outcome in advance. Permission is what you are seeking. Give it to yourself. Your head, ego, wants certainty and is the skeptic, but is in service of your heart, your truth. Your heart embraces the mystery, your growth and expansion into the full cosmic you. Trust you have everything you need right now without having it all figured out. Notice how resistance is showing up through excuses or waiting for someone else to do whatever you think they need to do before you act. Risk the takeoff and journey. Safety. Find your pockets. If you pounced on this card, you might be feeling a need to seek security, shelter, or safekeeping, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. You may be called upon to provide protection for yourself or others, or need to ask someone or something to provide it for you. Safety is a core need for every being. When we feel safe, we feel free to be ourselves, to learn, play, work, create, and recreate by ourselves or with others. We can relax and drop pretense, masks, or other means of defense, all of which take a great deal of our life force and energy to maintain. Perhaps you've experienced someone's claws on your back or a frontal assault, a cat fight you weren't prepared for. You may be feeling vulnerable or frightened in some way, seeing yourself as weak and incapable of padding forward on your own. It can be necessary to shield yourself or retreat if you've been swiped or grabbed by your coat. You may need to draw the line with someone and make a new agreement that redefines your personal territory and restores your sense of self-worth, honor, and integrity. If you've given yourself sufficient time to rebuild boundaries, lick any wounds, and come back to a calm center, you may now be called to come out of protection mode to reconnect with others and the world. There can be a danger in cringing too long in self-protection, such that you forget who you are and why you are here. Why you are here. Ooh, secrets. Let the cat out of the bag. Cats don't like being in bags anyway. It's never fun for them. If you pounced on this card, it means you're hanging on to secrets unrevealed, keeping something close to your chest and hidden away in an effort to protect yourself or others. You could be on a catwalk, precariously perched between telling the truth and withholding what you've deemed could be damaging. Some secrets are ones to keep because they contain stories or information best not shared with anyone but a close friend or confidant whose trust is beyond question. Some need not be shared with anyone, as only you would understand the situation or an experience you've had. If it hurts no one and nothing, why spill the beans? It may simply be no one else's business but yours. Where secrets can be damaging to you and others is the point at which they are blocking you from alignment with who you really want to be, what you stand for, your integrity. If you value honesty, these kinds of secrets may be painful for you to keep, may bring up feelings of isolation, and become too much of a burden to bear. Hiding some secrets is tantamount to hiding who you really are from others, making it difficult and even confusing to relate to the real you. All lose in the concealment of these kinds of secrets, as they can destroy relationships, sabotage individual and group endeavors, and generally wreak havoc on the world. You've seen this at every level of society. When valuable information or feedback is purposely withheld, no one can be effective to be or do their best. The antidote for harmful secrets is truth-telling, speaking out. That is why in a court of law, you are asked to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, as anything less will not serve justice. If you think you may be using secrets to trick others in a cat and mouse game to gain advantage, you have a choice to keep operating that way, or you can come clean by letting the cat out of the bag. Self-care, time to cleanse. If you pounced on this card, it's time to pay attention to you, giving yourself the proper care and feeding you will provide for any animal companion you love. Now you're that animal and you're being given permission to shed burdens and worries or what does not serve you anymore. If you're hearing the alley cat voices within you or outside you screech, that's selfish. You can't do that. There isn't time. What will others do or say? It's time to put that chorus to rest. A myth about self-care is that it's selfish, that we are here only to serve others. The truth is that you can only serve others and the world when you take care of yourself. True. When you take care of everyone and everything else, eventually there is no you left. This might manifest in exhaustion, burnout, bitterness, resentment, broken relationships, physical or mental health issues, addictions, depression, and even suicide. Self-care is about meeting your needs for physical and emotional health and well-being, and it runs deeper than staying fluffy. It's a mindset in which you regard yourself as worthy of healing, not just licking old wounds and hurts that have kept you in a cage. It's an ongoing personal process of self-discovery in which you stock greater knowledge about your deepest needs and desires, then pounce on new opportunities to meet them. This is probably going to be the longest video I've ever done. I hope it loads. Okay, self-confidence. Stand your ground. Aww. If you pounced on this card, it means you're needing to stand your ground in a way that honors who you are, why you are here, and what you contribute to the world by your presence. No one will ever have or feel your paw prints the way you do, because you are unique. Self-confidence at its root means to trust and confide in yourself. If you've forgotten or never had the experience of gaining clarity about who you are, what you most need to thrive, and what you bring to the lives of others, now is a good time to focus on answering those questions for yourself. No one else can, though the ground is littered with attempts to define ourselves through the eyes of others. Building confidence is not done in isolation, but in association with others asking the same questions, giving and getting support from one another. It's an incremental process and may take years of learning and experience to fully strengthen and tone these muscles that become the structure you can count on when faced with challenge and difficulty. Oh, surprise! Oh my God. Look at that face. Oh my goodness gracious. If you pounced on this card, it means something unexpected is facing you now or soon will be. You might be surprised or about to surprise others. Perhaps it's the perfect time for something to show up for you, something you did not count on. Some say they don't like surprises, but the same people don't mind unwrapping gifts. Life is full of curveballs that can catch us off guard, leaving us confused or dazed. That's a natural reaction. So much of what we take for granted can change in a moment. Don't be lured into the rigid belief that surprise has to be ominous, bad, or harmful when it can and does take many forms. This is a good time to prepare yourself for the unpredictable. But how? First, come back to the old saw that change to, okay. First, come back to the old saw that change is a constant. Hanging on to history as the best predictor of the future is a mousetrap you can avoid. Anything is possible, especially when you let yourself believe that it is so. Teacher, share your knowledge. If you pounced on this card, you're being called to share with others what you have learned or are learning about. It's time to catalog your life experience and knowledge and engage with those who find it valuable. We are all teachers for someone, whether through direct instruction or by how we live our lives. You may feel timid, reserved, or not good enough to be in a teaching role, thinking someone else could do it better or it's already been done. You may be concerned that others may not like your meow or message or not even show up to receive what you may have to impart. Think of all the individuals who have taught you, formally or informally, and the impact they've had on your life from the earliest days in your litter to higher levels of literacy. Who helped you emerge from a mere caterpillar to who you've become? Who were your models for passionate and excited learning? We all have teachers, mentors, and masters we look up to over time. Some may be real or fictional. They may even be other species or nature itself. The card says territorial, but the book says territory. Finding your place. If you pounced on this card, it means you are needing to establish new terrain or ground on which to build or rebuild a part of yourself. That could be as far-ranging as claiming a whole new identity or a better understanding of where you stand in relationship to another. It could be defining or creating a pet project that's not yet been birthed. It could be finding and getting clear about your role in any group endeavor you are associated with. In finding new ground, you may be reluctant to assert yourself, thinking you are being too audacious or out there, afraid to be thought of as some kind of stalker, pussyfooting around by withholding what you want to say or ask for from those around you will keep you small. It may be time to grab hold of your courage and really let yourself roar in order to find your highest perch. Don't imagine the punishment from a cat o' nine tails. That's not really there. Tolerance, sitting with it. If you pounced on this card, you may be confronted or saddled with a situation you'd rather not deal with, either something you've put on hold or that just popped up. It's not the most fun you could think of having, but it's there. It could be in relationship or with something less animate. You are being asked to adopt a more tolerant posture or attitude for your and others' good even when you feel the weight or energy of something sitting above or on top of you. If in relationship, maybe it's an interaction where you agree to disagree, as the first stage of accepting things probably won't change, given who you are and who they are, each very different. Tolerance is a quantum leap from hatred, the divider, destroyer, and enemy maker. And it gives one far more space or a middle ground to play than rejection. It can provide breathing room for getting in touch with your willingness to eventually move into a place of acceptance. Trust. Take the leap. If you pounced on this card, it means you are either taking a leap or poised to pounce. For whatever reason, your own hesitancy, reluctance, resistance, it has not been the right time until now to make your move. It has dawned on you that, okay, where was I? The universe is telling you now is the time to leap, and you will, despite any worry, concern, doubt, or trepidation, be rewarded. Sure, it's scary. All the what ifs rush in when you begin to second guess what mad dogs lie in wait, ready to take their bite out of your best laid plans. Imagining the worst case scenario could stop you in mid-leap. Don't let it. Instead, point your whiskers in the direction of the best case you can make for your most desirable outcome. Keep your cat eyes on the prize. And speaking of the prize, what is it you've wanted and thought you could not have? Is it someone, something, or your best version of yourself you are stalking? It's important to name it, feel it, and find it now, as this is the perfect time to learn how things really manifest in your life. Truth. Let it show. If you pounced on this card, it may mean you have something to say that needs to be said. It could be in any one of many forms: sharing a sentiment, making a request, delivering a presentation. You may have been crouched down, holding back, or sitting on something that needs outward expression for you to feel in flow again. Take the time to tell others who you are, how you feel, what you need, regardless of reaction or response. Know that you owe that to yourself, and no one else can tell your personal truth. That is true. True. Nearing the end here, let's see. Vanity. It's all about meow. Oh, delightful cards. If you pounced on this card in some way, you may have lost sight of your greatest value to yourself and others, or it can mean you have narrowed your focus to only what is right in front of you. Coming nose to nose with the truth that you are inherently good, regardless of your background or deeds, even in spite of the shredded toys you may have left in your wake, is a good thing, a healthy vanity. After all, you are the lead character in your life's story, and the role deserves your best efforts and attention. How you look your best while acting in alignment with what feels true for you and hurts no one keeps you padding along on your highest life path. It is all about you in that sense. pretty card. Watcher. Be your own witness. If you pounced on this card, it means it's time to hang back behind the scenes and just observe. You may have been intensely engaged with something or someone, clawing your way through a conflict or feeling bedraggled in the face of catcalls of one kind or another. It's okay to stop, smooth your fur, take stock of the situation, examine what happened and what might happen next. Taking off after another elusive mouse is not advised at this time. You need perspective. Being a witness or being unattached is not the same thing as being passive, as you may be actively disengaging for your own safety, health, and sanity. Whatever drama is playing out, you can always know that watching is an important step in the learning process. It begins with noticing what is going on inside you, what the thoughts or feelings may have been triggered by a situation. If you are crouching down, prepared for danger, or curious about what may happen next. Remember that the watcher is not a fixed position. There is a time to watch and a time to move. Being overly cautious and indecisive can be immobilizing. Avoid getting so caught up in the outward actions of others that you become hypnotized. This can happen if we fall into the trap of always trying to please others or act in a restricted way to gain approval and reward. Our whole focus becomes outward instead of inward, and we can lose track of who we really are. Wholeness. Look. Become all that you are. If you pounced on the If you pounced on this card, you are being invited to collect the different aspects, parts, and voices within you and bring them into greater harmony and wholeness. There may be a way you've lost sight of or grown fuzzy about some of your values, needs, and desires. This can lead to a lack of alignment or a disconnect between what you say and do, what you say you value or believe, and how you express it in the world. Integrity literally means the integration of beliefs and actions at a higher level. It's a learning curve and process that requires a witness within you that can observe and discern when you are in or out of integrity. A cozier relationship with yourself is necessary to have and live with greater integrity, a big part of healing and being whole. Ooh. Wildcat. You never know what's lurking. If you pounced on this card, it means someone or something is on the prowl and searching for you to spot them or it. Still under your radar, that something may be lurking in the shadows as yet camouflaged by your life's busyness and distractions. It may be completely unpredictable and ready to appear at any moment, given the right circumstances and opportunities. Though you may have the best laid plans or be scratching your way through a litter box of scenarios, you may not have taken full account of all factors, events, and conditions involved in your ultimate happiness, joy, and fulfillment. How could you? It's really not ours to know all the universe has in store for us. When we think we should be in control, truly an impossible prospect, we face misery, fatigue, disappointment, and disillusionment with what is. When we dwell on the worst of what can happen, we can close ourselves off from the new, more interesting, and exciting possibilities. possibilities. Love it. And our last card. Okay, wisdom. Let your light shine. If you pounced on this card, it means you are encouraged to dive deeper into your own inner guidance and to shine a light for others. You may be flailing your paws in every direction, looking for the right information, the right answers, the correct way to do, be, or to have something become more present in your life. You may think others are smarter, cleverer, more resourceful, more everything than you, that they know the best path for you to take or have the easy 3-step formula for your success. They may certainly have that for themselves. Humans, after all, are from the same big litter, so some of their pet solutions might be of some assistance in finding your own. The danger is to believe the highest knowledge or best solutions lie somewhere out there, often just out of reach of your grasp. How many times have you searched for and even found seemingly all-knowing gurus looking to be graced by their wisdom only to be let down? Now is the time to curl up inside yourself, to ask your generous inner fat cat for what you really need, and trust that what comes to you is for you. Make room for that cat cry inside you to be heard. It's just asking to be let out into the light of day so you can see and feel the wisdom within you more clearly and palpably, to use for your own highest good. When you take the time to do this and bask in the illumination of your own truth, you will inspire others to do the same for themselves. When that happens, your whole world will enlighten up. Enlighten up. Beautiful. Well, that is the Cosmic Cat Wisdom cards. I hope you enjoyed them. They are beautiful. They're large cards. They're nice cards. They've got a thickness to them. They are shiny, no gilding, and yeah, that's them. I don't know where the little connection thing went, but or did it have one? I don't know. I've been reading this so long. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and it's something you would like to purchase, there is an affiliate link in the description box below. Other than that, if you have other decks you would like for me to review, just put them down in the comment section below, and I'll see what I could do about locating them and reviewing them. Other than that, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.